Okay. So what I was telling is we have this, we are fetching the user and username and the address from two tables. We have the alias table alias, that is a short form of the table, and we join using the alias. So what we tell, from the first table use the user ID, and from the second table use the user underscore ID as FK. Both are same columns, which means both will have the same data. So join using that and fetch me the result. That is what this join means. This is a this is called an inner join, or simply a join, where we join one or more tables. Let us say we have one more table as language. So I will go here. I will add one table, create table. So 003 languages, which means the languages which the user is going to speak. I want language ID, primary key, language name, and user ID. So I'll need only 3 columns. So first is going to be the language ID. That is an int, and that is a primary key. And advanced option. This is what I was telling, index, not index type. Okay, index choice is primary key. If you give this, this will be used as an index for faster performance. Now we'll have the language, actual lang. We'll keep it lang, and this will be a varchar, and the language length can be up to, let's say, 20. Hindi, English, whatever it's going to be 10. Let us say we'll keep it 20 for safety. Then this column also you should not be having more, because everything is memory. Even if you increase the length of the column, the size of the database will be increasing. For every row, one character. Let's say 10 only we are going to store. But I'm telling, okay, what an issue. I'll give 20 minutes. One row I'm having 10 as extra, which is 10 bit, which is 10 byte. Byte is a 8 bits, correct? So 1080 bits extra I am taking for this one. So if we have a table with like 1 million row, the size of the DB is going to be huge. So when we decide a table, the length of the column should be carefully designed based on how much we are going to store. And the third we are going to have is the user ID FK, which is a foreign key. Okay, here I cannot give the foreign key. Okay, here it is auto increment. I'll give one. I'll do save. Now I will edit this table. And I should see where did I do the other page? There was one additional relational view, correct? So language ID is a primary key, but constraint name. I'll give user ID FK. What is the column foreign key? It is a user ID FK. And which database, which table it has to refer, user table, user ID column. So if I give save, okay, because I already used this name FK, so I'll give as something lang. This is a foreign key column inside the lang table. F keys are global. You have to use it only once. The name alone is global. The user ID, and I'll go. Okay, great. So now what is our table structure? I'll draw here. So we have a user table, and the user table is having two child table. One is the language which the user is going to speak. Other is the address of the user. This is called a database diagram, ER diagram. User, and we have a language, and we have an address. The user table and the language tables are joined using user ID. The user table and the address table are joined using user ID. So using the same user ID, user underscore, that is implies. So that same ID will be here and the same ID will be here. So the same ID is here. Let us say we have one more table as user SIM details. This case, a user will be giving his detail in the SIM, that is okay, what does that mean? Okay, that is understood. Along with that, he will not give language ID, but he will give a reference to his address. So I have multiple address. From this address you pick up. So in this case, we'll create a table with SIM detail, and the reference will be two foreign keys. One is user ID, other is address ID. We'll see this next step. For now, we have created a language table. The foreign key is set. Now we'll insert data into the language table. Language ID is auto increment. So language, I will give Hindi, and RS, okay, 1 Rajesh. This means this guy can speak Hindi. So one row inserted. The query is given to us. Next time onwards, I'll use the query to insert. I'll type here English for the same one. Okay, super. So that is also inserted. I'll go again. I'll give here German. Okay, super. That is also inserted. So I'll go here again. I'll give Tamil. So this person is having 4 languages. Now I'll insert one more. We had a user 50. So now I'll tell that 50 can speak Hindi. So now if I go to language table, I'll see 4 records. User 1 can speak Hindi, 1 can speak English, 1 can speak German, 1 Tamil, and 50 can speak only Hindi. Now we'll go to that query. I want to see an output. Select. I want to see the username. Comma, what all the language he is speaking, which is there from language. So language from T001 user, alias name for the user I can give. Yeah, you can give it anything. It is not mandatory to give you, but the normal way is we will give user. But user, when I type user, it is showing in pink, no, some color, which means it's a keyword. I should not use it. Comma T003 language L. Okay, now what is the reference? U dot user ID equal to L dot user ID FK underscore, no, user ID FK, that's all. So this is the reference. I have to give where this is the reference. So if I fetch, I'll see. Okay, Rajesh is speaking Hindi, he is speaking English, German, Tamil, and RS is speaking Hindi. Now, along with that, I want to bring their address also. It is very simple. We have to join the third table now. That's all. We have two tables. Now I'm going to add the third table as T002 address. And here I gave a link between first table and third table. Now I have to give a link between first table and the second table equal to a dot user ID. That's all it is. I have
That
to
means Rajesh, whatever the columns, no, it's one
common
sec.
columns, foreign key and
column.
primary key.
Okay.
Here, this is what primary key and foreign key will be used.
Okay.
Okay, what is the issue? You have an error. Check the manual. User ID equal to limit 0. Okay, I have to use and here. See here, it is bringing. Now there is an issue. We'll solve this issue tomorrow. But for what we learned today, this is actually the issue is cart. It is bringing a cross product. It is joining all the table with all the possible rows. Okay, but now what we studied, the structure of a SQL, which is a select query should be select columns. What all columns you want? Columns from table. What all tables you want? Tables. What all tables you want? Where pk equal to fk. Link all the primary key and fk and pk equal to fk and pk equal to fk. This and will continue forever. How many times? Table minus 1 times. If there are 3 tables, I have to write 2 joins. If there are 4 tables, I have to write 3 joins. Always remember how much ever table is there, you have to write table minus 1 time joins. Otherwise, the other table will not be linked correct. Let's take this example. We have 3 tables. The query what we wrote, user, language, and address. Here we are selecting from user table the username, language table language, address table address. Now we have to join these 3 tables. So to join, we have to join this and this and this and this. So whatever joins are present between these tables, you have to write that as a AND. Is that clear?
Yeah. Just we are going to combine whatever the
correct
things we need from the column.
To combine, we use the keys.
Okay.
But it is not mandatory that you have to use the key. I'll tell you. We can.
Rajesh, I have one question here.
Yes.
How this SQL just for backend purpose, the storing everything.
Yes.
We are using SQL. And
yes.
How it is interrelated with Java?
In the Java program, we got the input from console or from a screen.
Okay.
HTML or JSP, we got it. We send it to the Spring. We are in Spring Boot now.
Okay.
Now Spring Boot has got the values from the user interface. It has to store somewhere.
Okay.
Because it is it's a mediator only. It cannot store any data.
Yes.
So
just it can see, it can get.
Correct. It can get and it can return back and display to the user. Okay. It cannot store anything by itself. Okay. So it uses the backend. Okay. As I said, everything has its own purpose. The HTML Spring or servlet cannot display to a user. It is an invisible thing behind. So to make it visible, HTML and JSP came. HTML and JSP cannot process business logic. So Spring came. Spring, HTML and JSP cannot store a data. So we have the database. So everything has its own purpose. If you want to see something, HTML and JSP only can help you. Spring cannot help you. Spring Boot cannot help you. But if you want to know what's your balance in your mobile, in your phone you see through a UI. There it is displaying like validity ends on today or tomorrow. That is displayed by HTML or JSP. I mean, in terms of actually in mobile, it will not be HTML. It will be through, again, mobile we use Java. Android Studio runs in Java. The opponent
That Rajesh, I
hat,
one more
right?
question.
Yeah.
If you know any development tool like Java, for example, I think most of the things remaining also the similar, right? Like
Yes.
.NET.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. That is what I said. The base is same. If you go to some other languages, the only the way it is going to work is will be different. Even now, I am like getting a video ready on Svelte JS. It is similar to Java only. Like
Okay.
I'm just learning and like putting some videos in the
That means
channel.
if you are perfect with one of the language, now
You
you can be able to
you
do other language.
anything you can learn any language. That's what I tell to my students, that don't try to be perfect. Don't try to tell that you are perfect or you are master of one language. You always try to tell that whatever language comes, I am master in learning that language. That is what is important.
Okay.
So Java will be today or tomorrow for next 5 years or 10 years. You don't know, because every day new languages are coming, but the base is same. As I said, the motor has an armature and it runs only using it. There is no other machine which is motor invented used to run in different way. So until that is constant, every car is going to have just a different way of showcasing the motor. That's all, correct? With some
Okay.
comforts. So few cars will have an automated, so we use Angular. Few cars will be like traditional old, we use JSP. Few car will not be having any hi-fi things, we use HTML, plain HTML. But Audi car has a very beautiful UI, like it's a very comfortable. We go with Angular or React Native or Native Script. So that is the analogy. If you learn the any language to the core, the base, that is why the base should be strong. If you know the base, it is everywhere it is same. You
Okay.
should not see Java, database, Angular or JSP as different things. That is why when I teach, I combine and teach. They are all one. You cannot, if you see a car has a UI, car has a color, it has engine, it has a key to start the engine. All these work together. It has an AC from which it AC comes to the passenger inside. You enjoy the color, you enjoy the visibility, but you cannot, using just the color you cannot drive. You need engine. You
Okay.
have battery. Battery is the database. It is storing the charge. If you switch off the motor, that's all. There is no charge in the motor. You can touch it. The same, that is analogy of uh, Spring Boot. HTML is a car external, which is coloring of the car. You see blue color car or green color, that is HTML. It has its own limitation. It can only showcase to your user. Whether can you run using just a like external part of the car? No. You need the core engine for to drive the car. So you need Spring and Spring Boot. Just with HTML you cannot live. But if I don't give you a cover, if I don't give you a seat, I just give you a motor. Can you drive? No. You need a UI to sit and drive the car.
Okay.
Okay. So you have to, when you study something, you have to link with everyday world, because the programming language as I studied is not a rocket science, or it is not invented by someone else. It is all invented from by humans, seeing the day-to-day objects whatever we have. So everything is object, whatever you use, even the computer you use, the screen is the HTML and JSP, the Angular. The control, when you type in the keyboard, it goes to the CPU. That is your Spring Boot. The hard disk where you store the data is the database. So everything has, using the screen you cannot, using only the screen you cannot work, right? Screen has to send the data to the CPU. Using just CPU you cannot work without a hard disk.
Okay.
Same way with just using hard disk you cannot work. So when you learn a language, you have to learn to distinguish these things. Okay, what it is. You don't think HTML alone is a different thing, Java is a different thing, and database is a different thing. Always try to link and learn together. That is why when I speak, always I go with the flow and I link to the backend and come back, because you have to understand everything is a flow, everything is single. It's not that database is totally different. When I tell these columns, immediately next week I link with Java and I link with UI. This, whatever we are seeing here, right? The username, lang, and address, we have to see this in the JSP page. That is our goal. Here I am querying. Okay, I know the query, I'm querying. Suppose one new person is there, one old person is there, he doesn't know what the query is. How will we show this to him? We have to bring it and display in a mobile view. That is why
Okay.
JSP came. So
Okay.
we are doing this query, just we are running this query now, and we saw this output in the editor. This one, we will be running the same query. This query, we will be hitting the same query from Spring Boot DAO layer, and DAO layer will get this result. From the DAO layer, we will set it as a request attribute and send it to JSP. In the JSP, we will show the same values using table, using div tag, using the label tag of HTML. Okay.
Okay.
Now, you are getting
And
right.
yeah, I got it. And now this this database and the Java is going to interlink with the drivers, right? Just for the sharing purpose or the retrieving purpose.
Correct. So the
Okay.
database, we saw that Java Spring Boot, when we started, it was listening in port 8080.
Uh-huh.
Correct. The same way, this database will be listening in a port. I go to settings.
Mm-hmm.
I can see SQL. Okay, when I connect, it will ask. So it will be listening in, I think, one
The
second,
port, that means oh, this is
3306.
mhm.
Navigation server, not here. Uh, Documentation, logout. Actually, this database will be running in a port. Connections, where is connections? Okay.
Rajesh, this one is going to right now is running in a port because this is in the internet, right? Right now we are in
Yes, yes.
that's the reason it's running in one port. If we have like a SQL database in our computer, that means
It will be
SQL
running in a port. 33.
in a,
You can see the
so the same port it's going to run.
yes, in your local machine. Port of MS
Okay,
SQL.
okay,
SQL server will run in 1433 TCP port.
okay,
Spring Boot was running in 8080.
okay,
SQL will be running either in 1433 or 1434, which is configurable. You can change the port. So this port
okay,
will be in your machine.
okay.
Same way, if you are going to install MySQL, it will be in 3306 port.
Okay, that means this port has to be in our mission, right? For example,
Yes, yes.
okay,
So
if it is not there, we are going to install this port.
the port will be there. Port will be there.
Okay,
Yeah, all the ports will be there in the machine. So if you see how many ports are there in my machine, how many ports are in my machine, you can have a total of 65,535 TCP ports
okay,
and 65,000 UDP ports. So when a program of your, so which means you can run 65,535 applications in your machine. Of the
okay,
65,000 port, only one port 8080 we have used.
Okay.
If you go to process, Chrome will be using a port. Everything will be using one ports.
We can see the ports here in this task
No,
manager.
you can see the ports here. You have to go to command prompt and go netstat.
We can see the ports.
Yeah, see here the TCP protocol. What is the address? What is the port it is using? So Oppo F11 is using 2869
Port.
in my machine.
Okay.
When I connect to a mobile, so everything is running. It's a HTTPS. We don't know what this is. Maybe if we dig more, we can get a user friendly name. But for now, these are the different things which is using these ports. See, 49204 is being used. 41. So these many ports are used in my machine.
Okay. Rajesh, this is out of box question. We have IIS server, right, in
Yeah.
Windows machine.
Yes. Yes.
How we can come to know where are the application URLs are stored in IIS? Because
If you have to go to IAS and there will be. Let me see if I have IIS. I don't know.
just I want the URLs and what are the applications these guys are using.
Yeah. If you go to the IIS server, left side you can see all the applications, and if you right click and there will be an option to see here application pool, the sites running. If you expand this, you'll only one site is here. But if there is some sites running, means here you will see all the sites.
I want the URL. What are the URL they are using?
Yeah, you right click and manage this one, edit binding.
Okay, that particular.
If you have a URL, you will see here.
Okay.
And if you want to see where that site is located, directory browsing, explore. It will take you to the folder. This is my site.
Okay, where it is stored.
Yes. If I start this, it is whether started or not. It is started only.
It's already started.
So if I go to just localhost, it will be running in 80 port. The IIS should come. It has come, see. And this is a default. Where is the default? If I go to explore, this is the image I got. So it is serving from this folder. If I am going to change this image to welcome 1, that's all. Continue. If I refresh, the image will not come. It's coming from cache, of course.
Okay.
But if I properly, if we do, it should not. No, it's still coming from cache. But this is what it is. It is referencing. IIS start.
Okay. That means what are the applications are hosted in that IIS server? We can see what are the URLs for the applications. Also we can see.
Yes. URL, port, SSL, everything is configured here.
And one more thing for Windows 2019 server, we don't have IIS, Rajesh.
Okay.
For 2019, it's new servers, right? And without IIS, the servers will be there.
Actually, it is there. Windows is providing maybe IIS you can install externally by default. Okay, but how do you tell that it is not there?
Just I searched in the 2019 server.
You should go to program features and turn Windows features on off. Here the IIS will be unchecked. This will be unchecked. You have to check it, only then the server will be installed.
Okay, it's going to install. And in my current project, the IIS server I can't see that IIS server. The guy before me, he installed, I can see one of the application is running in that server, but I can't see the IIS. I don't know why. I can see the application, I can see the URL which is going to hit that host, that means the server, but I can't see the IIS.
But are you sure it is coming into that particular, have you got access to that server?
Yeah, right now I'm working with that server.
Are you sure that it only, from that server only the content is coming?
Yeah, that only one server. I told you right that single sign-on application we are building for Active Directory Federation services.
Okay.
They got 2019 server and they posted one URL. I'm not sure how they without IIS how they got it. It's my just
No, it will be there. What
will
you
be there,
do,
right?
is it an internal intranet application or an internet?
We it's like 443. We given the certificate 443.
No, whether it is it is accessible from my machine or not.
No.
It is only from your machine, right?
From my
So
mission.
you will have a domain name, correct?
Yes.
So what you do, you go to command prompt and you type ping and give your domain name. Let's say google.com. I'll get
Okay.
back an IP address.
Okay.
You see whether this IP is the IP in which you are working. If it is different from your IP, then the server is different mission.
I didn't get you. Could you please repeat it?
Yeah,
Rajesh?
let us say you are working in a mission, correct? Let us say
The mission what I'm working
correct,
where,
and you are
where the application is posted or
correct. You are telling that the application is hosted there.
okay.
First, my question is, I want to confirm whether that application is really hosted there. To do
Okay.
that, you open up a command prompt.
In that mission.
Yes, any mission
Okay.
from your local also.
Okay.
But your VPN should be connected into the network.
Okay.
And you go and do ping. Ping
Okay.
space the domain name of the application using which you will access. Let us say it is abc.com or Stata, like you said Stata, right? Something. Whatever
Okay.
it is, abc.com, you ping. You will reply, you will get a reply as an IP address.
Yeah, I got the reply, the IP address.
Yeah.
The
Whether
IP
that
address
is the IP address
of the server.
Yeah, that is the IP address from where the server is replying back. So you should log into that IP address and the server will be there. That is one point. The other chances are this IP address itself is a proxy IP address where the network team have routed this request from this IP to another internal IP. There are two scenarios.
Okay.
This case, if I pinged google.com, I got an IPS 142.250.193.142, correct? There are two scenarios. One is there might be a mission like this from where the Google is replying back. Other possibility is this is a proxy address. This will go to a firewall. In the firewall, the network team would have set a rules that when someone comes in, you redirect to the actual IP that is hidden from me.
Okay.
So that IP I will not know, only a network person can know. So you have to find out which scenario is working in your case.
Okay, gotcha.
So if you go to that machine, 100% the application will be running.
Yeah, sure, Rajesh. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm good, Rajesh.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good then. Yeah. Tomorrow we'll meet again.
Yeah. See you.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye bye.
Yeah. All right. Bye.